All right, so solving rational functions. Your goal, clearly, you're gonna be able to solve a rational function. Please make sure you number this 16 so you can keep them in sequential order with your other notes. Like I said, it's not going to be much, mostly examples. Okay. The key facts. Okay. When you are trying to solve rational functions, you need to make sure that you have a common denominator if necessary, and then try to get rid of that denominator. So you're going to end up multiplying. Lastly, once you do solve for x, you always want to check for extraneous solutions. There's no point of doing all that work, and then there's actually one that doesn't work. Okay, so always check for it. There we go. For example, it is x plus 6 over x minus 8 equals 0. So we have x, and then we have 6 over x minus 8 equals 0. In order to even be able to add those,
You have to do that thing where you like multiply both and give 8 so it can have that denominator.
kind of like a common denominator.
It was like an algebra too at like the end. You had to like look at what's at the bottom and like oh
Yeah.
Yeah. How we do it? We just do multiply both sides, the top and bottom of x by x minus 8. And then we have like x squared minus 8x over x minus 8.
Okay, so we'll have x. How did you get that?
Oh, you just distribute properly.
No, I guess the x minus 8 part, right?
Yeah, you just x minus 8 times 1, x over 1. So it's just going to be
What is the x minus 8?
1 minus.
It's the common denominator. So in order to add these two together, we're going to have that common denominator, which is going to be x minus 8, has to be the same. Okay? And now that it's the same, what can you do? Add them together. So if I distribute, that's an x squared minus 8x, and then I'll have a plus 6 all over x minus 8. And how would I solve this?
You factor up the top should be this one.
Factor at top, see if you cancel. I'm trying to solve here. So, that division. Factor mine. I'm trying to solve for x.
Multiply by x minus 8.
Multiply by x minus 8. I need to get rid of this denominator here. And what happens? Goes away. This becomes still 0. And so we basically have x squared minus 8x plus 6 equals 0. And this is a nice quadratic that we can solve by, or can I factor this?
no.
No, I can't. So I'm going to have to use what? Quadratic equation formula. Do it. Negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4 times a times c would be 24. No? Oh. Okay, what's wrong?
No, like I asked.
So we got a plus or minus the square root of 40 over 2. And then we're going to simplify the square root of 40 to be 10 times square root of 10. I'm sorry, I'm all over the place. I should have planned this a little bit better. And I can simplify this to be 4 plus or minus the square root of 10. Question.
Okay, the question was not if you ever realized the 2 points at all. I wanted to know if you could simplify the 8, like you have 8 plus or minus and it's over 2, just do 8 and 2, get rid of it and have 4 plus 15. 40, yeah, and then simplify it, but you get rid of it.
Question. Another way. Instead of multiplying to get that common denominator and then adding them together, you could have multiplied plus, right? If I multiply by the common denominator, which was x minus 8, and I multiplied it to every single term, over here, I would have had an x squared minus 8x.
Pardon interruption at this time.
Over here, x minus 8, if you multiply, they're going to end up canceling out, leaving with just a plus 6, and then 0 times x minus 8 is just 0. So you still get back to that same point, it's just another way to do it. Okay? It still works. So if you multiply instead every single term by the common denominator, that was another way to do it. Alright? Here's another one. You got 9x.
Wait, so, can you go back?
Yeah.
So, x squared minus that, okay, that's what I got.
9x over x minus 2 equals 6. What do you think?
9x equals 6, right? Oh, no, you did have to do 6x minus 2, okay, 9 is 12.
Exactly. You gotta multiply. Get rid of that denominator. These cancel. 9x equals 6x minus 12. How do I solve for x? Move the 6 to the other side. 3x equals 12, negative 12. And so x will equal negative 4. Now I know we're just going along in here. Do not forget to check for extraneous solutions. Plug it into the original. If I plug in negative 4, what's 9 times negative 4? And what is negative 4 minus 2? And what does that divide to be?
Wait, what do you,
Checking.
how did you do that? So negative 4, so negative 4 minus negative 6 over negative 6?
Yep.
6 equals 6? Yep. Very good. So what happens if it wasn't true? Then it wouldn't
Be no solution.
Okay.
Here we go. One a little bit more involved. Yeah. Here's the next one. So, here, we have a quadratic and we have two linear factors over here on the right side. Let's factor this. Let's factor down to me. That's the same as these two denominators over here. So our common denominator is what? What's our common denominator here? So you should multiply every single fraction, every single term by that common denominator. So if I multiply this by x minus 2 times x minus 4, what do you think is going to happen to the denominator? Goes away, and you're just left with the numerator. Over here, what's going to happen with this one when you multiply? You'll have a 3x, because you're going to distribute over, right? Here, your x minus 4's cancel out, so you're just left with 2 times x minus 2. And now you have no more denominators. Once you distribute over, you might end up with a quadratic, maybe a linear, that you can solve. Questions up to this point? Solve it.
3 and I bet you. Watch. It's 10x.
Right? Negative 6 and negative 4. 3x on top.
Wait, no, that's not what they 12
12 and negative 2. Negative 12, positive 2. There we go. So when we reduce this, this becomes x minus 4 and 3x plus 2. We said that equals to 0 because that's what it equals. So x equals 4 and x equals 2/3. Negative 2/3. Do they both work? Yes. Four doesn't work?
16 times 3 is 48 minus
Check, check, check.
36.
Check, check, check. Plug into the original justification be a mistake. Does everybody have this? Can I go to the next slide and check? Yeah. Okay. We'll check 4. So 4 over 16 minus 24 plus 8 equals 12 over 2. When you plug it in, you get this. Okay? Now, can I have 2 over 0 here? No, you cannot. So this means that this is not a solution because you're basically going to have 4 over 0 over here, and then you got a 6 plus a 2 over 0. This is undefined here. A number can't equal something that's undefined. So 4 is not a solution. So the only one that works that is a solution is x equals negative 2/3. So when I plug that in, that will work.
Wait, so it's because you plug it in, or is it because it's
Because of these, well, no, when I can plug it in here, I'm running a little short of time. Trust me on this one, it does work. But you would want to plug it in. I'm running short of time, okay? So, but if when you're at home and you have the time, plug it in, double check, and I promise you it will work. Yes, sir? So that. That's another thing, you guys. Remember, when we factored and we looked at it, x minus 4 was in the denominator. So when we got 4 as a solution, that should have been a trigger, a key that's going to make my denominator 0, undefined. You can't, if I try to plug in there, that's going to give me something that's undefined. So those are some other things too to look for and check. Yes.
so like there could be a slight chance that like negative 2/3 wouldn't work.
True.
So there will be a time where like both not gonna work.
Correct.
Or like if have negative.
Exactly. There will be a time when both of them might not work, so you always want to check both of them. Like I said, this one does work. Trust me. Okay? Let's do one more. This is the last one that we do. Negative 12 over x squared plus 6x equals 2 over x plus 2. X plus 6, sorry. Plus x minus 2 over x. I wrote it right. I said it wrong. There you go. What were your x's? Did anybody not get those two numbers? Okay? So this factors down to be x times x plus 6. So if I multiply everything by x times x plus 6, which is my common denominator, and even this one by x times x plus 6, denominator here goes away, I'm just left with negative 12. Here, the x plus 6 goes away, I'm just left with 2x. And over here, I have that dot the foil.
I figured it out. I saw my issue.
Good job. Now when you plug it in, and you plug in 0 here, it is undefined, so 0 doesn't work. When you plug in negative 6 here, what happens? So what does this mean? Campbell's not enough. That's not okay.
Yeah, 12 minutes left in class.